If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Hello, the House on the Road subscribers and followers. I thought maybe I would discuss with you some of the things that I've observed in the YouTube RVers videos where they're talking about how great the RTR is, Quartzsite, Ehrenberg, Arizona. And I'm starting to see a trend of things that they're saying in their videos, all the while they're saying it's great. I'm starting to see a trend of things that I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not as great as they're saying. And so I thought I would just point these out. If you haven't noticed, I mean, I watch pretty religiously 5 YouTube RVers. I watch them quite frequently, and they all are in this area. The Yuma area, Quartzsite, Ehrenberg, and I think a few of them are going to go to the RTR. And they're all really kind of saying the same things, which makes me concerned. And so I broke this down into 2 categories. 1, about the number of people there, and 2, about the actual problems you may run into while you're there. Remember, a lot of these folks are going because they want to live inexpensively or cheap living. And I'm not sure how you can actually live cheaply in the areas they're going. So let me go ahead and go. And this is what I've noticed, and I wrote them down. So let's start out with the things that are actual physical concerns. The water is not drinkable. Okay, so that means you have to go buy this RO water. You have to go to these stations. That means you have to go into town. That means you spend gas money to go into town. That means now you're buying water. I've never bought water. I've never bought water. They're saying the water is not drinkable because it has salt in it. So you have to go to these drinking stations. I think it's 25 cents a gallon or something, which is a lot more expensive than free. So if you're into this cheap living concept, that's not free. You've spent money on gas, and now you're spending money on water. High food cost. Well, then they're saying, well, just go down to Yuma, and I'm just using their words. They're saying go down to Yuma to buy food. Well, now you're first, what they're saying is when you come into these areas, bring your food. But if you're going to stay in these areas for 2 or 3 weeks, that means you're actually going to have to go out and get more food. You can't stock up on that much food. Living in a van or a travel trailer, you just can't. So now you're driving extended miles to go to a cheaper food cost location. Or you go to Quartzsite and you spend a fortune there. Slow internet. Now, I know this is not a big deal for a lot of people, but for a lot of people it is a big deal. And I'll get into why it's slow. There, apparently, throughout this time of year, it is slow. Rough terrain. This one actually really concerned me. The terrain is so rough in these areas that it can cause your tires to go flat. Well, if you're into cheap living, tires can get kind of expensive. I think a tire on my truck is $300 or $400. One tire. That is, what? 2/3 of the monthly amount we spend each month. My goodness, that is a huge cost. Okay, let's get into the second category. Too many people. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You can go out and camp all the way over there by yourself." Okay, that's fine, assuming that is true, because I'm starting to hear reports that's not true. It's sounding to me like that now it's getting so big that people are having to kind of break off into smaller groups. That's how. So, but if you can find a campsite out there by yourself, that's great. But here's the problem with all the people in this area. Slow internet. As a result of everybody trying to use internet that they say they don't use, I'm being silly there, there's so many people using it that the provider can't keep up. They can only send out so much bandwidth, so it's all being dispersed, and so everybody's internet is slow. It's not like you can even move to a different location and get faster internet. because there's so many people everywhere using the internet. Number two, not only did I hear this on a YouTube RVer channel, but I also heard this from people who are actually there commenting to me about this. People are actually intruding on you. So if you supposedly want to go and get some alone time, apparently you can't, because people are just coming by and bothering you. And some of these people, apparently, through the comments that I've read, are not that pleasant. So, and I've heard some are actually doing illegal activity in Arizona. Now, I know other states are saying that it's legal to do these things, but in Arizona, I don't think it's. Another indicator that there is a lot of people there is there are long lines, and I heard this on the YouTube channel, long lines at the post office. If there's not a lot of people there, then why are there such long lines? The lines are actually so long that you may not be able to get your mail today. You might have to come back. I've heard several reports that people are having to move not only once, but twice. They'll move and people will follow them just right to their spot. You know, that's a lot of people. When you have someone so determined to be with you that they're just moving with you, so that's a real concern. And finally, apparently in Edinburgh, they used to not have the 2-week rule where you could only stay there for 2 weeks. Well, now, I guess there's so many people there, and, you know, when you have people, things get damaged, so I'm making a little bit of assumption there. The Rangers are starting to crack down on the 2-week rule. They're enforcing it now, so people happen to leave Edinburgh, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't want to see our lands destroyed either. But that's just a real indication that there's a lot of people there. So anyway, I thought that I would be the voice of opposition when it comes to being out in Arizona. Here we are in Florida, and I do know that we've had some cold weather. This kind of unusual for Florida, but I'm very happy here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.